All right, YouTube. Y'all know the drill. In about 4 minutes, we'll be going live. Um, so yeah, here we are. This is my brother Bryant. He's going to be our guest today, and I'm really excited about him coming on. I'm really excited about the conversation because I'm really, really proud, and I'm going to try to get through this thing without crying today. I'm really, really proud of all that he has accomplished. I'm really, really proud of all that he's been through and turned around. So, um, you guys can hang out with us for a little bit, get relaxed, get set, do whatever it is that you do. And in about 3 minutes, we'll be going live. So, the buzzes on the phones are like super loud. Yeah, you can't. The buzzes on the phones are super loud.
Oh no, I
So,
got my notifications off.
okay.
It's silent.
Silent or like vibrate?
No, it's silent.
Okay, I'm gonna have to invest in that or learn how to, or just whatever. Because I always have it on vibrate, but yeah, I'm gonna
That's
do
what
that
you
now.
mean.
It's like I have my notifications off, but like everything is off, but it'll still vibrate.
I don't see
I don't know. That's what it does. That's what it always does.
it's time for
So,
a new burn.
oh yeah, it's been time for a new phone, but you know that'll come. It only like happens when certain people who shall remain nameless be blowing me up while I'm on the show. But it's okay. It's all love. I love you.
Stop
So
blowing the phone up.
it's fine because sometimes they be giving me valuable information, like if there's technical difficulties, and I won't know about it until the end of the show. They get to know. So, like I said, it's all love. No, I'm not mad. I'm not upset in the least. Oh, so one show that I did last week, the person gave me some good feedback about looking into the camera. So you guys are my guinea pigs. I'm practicing on engaging with the audience, but it's difficult because I'm talking to someone. So does it feel rude to talk like if I'm addressing you, but I'm talking into
Oh,
the
you
camera?
just look at me through here.
But it's still I'm not looking
Okay.
at.
You is. I'm looking at
Okay, so that's one way to think about it. I'm gonna looking at you, but at the camera at the same time. Y'all bear with us. You know, I'm still finding my bearings. So thank y'all for dealing with this. So we got about a minute. I'm gonna put these headphones on. And then at 11:30, our kind producer is gonna give us the signal. Yes.
you.
Mm. Yeah, that word you can't say. I said that word you can't say.
Oh man. Listen.
They made that very clear. Ready? Here we go, y'all. Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning into another episode of We Are Not So Different here on ESM Radio 89.9 FM. Thank you for tuning in. This morning's guest, we have Bryant Mays here with us. Greet the people.
Hello, everyone.
Bryant Mays is my brother. For those that do not know, my name is Andrea Powell of We Are Not So Different. Powell, of course, being my married name. But he's going to be our guest today, and we have a lot to discuss, and I'm really excited about our conversation. So, before I want to go any further, I want to because anyway, I want to remind you guys of where I can be found at www.wearenotsodifferent.com. That's my website. You can find me on Facebook under We Are Not So Different. You can find me on Instagram on We Are Not So Different underscore. You can find me on YouTube. That one's under Andre Powell until I get enough subscribers so that way I can like customize my tag. So y'all go ahead, find me on YouTube, subscribe, hit that subscribe button and the notifications button so I can customize my link and make it more personal for you guys to easier for you guys to find. But just to leave a quick plug so you guys know where I can be found. This morning we're going to get started. We're going to jump right on in. But as you know, get comfortable, Find your favorite place on the floor or on the couch, your favorite drink, whether it's Kool-Aid or, a Corona, and get ready to jump in. So, as you may or may not know, I start the conversation off the same way with every guest in there. I have a reason, and that will be revealed soon, with two questions. The first one being, if you had the undivided attention of an audience of your choosing, who would be the audience and what would you tell them?
um, I guess I would have to go from an age range, maybe 13 to 21. 13 to 21.
Okay.
Um, Simply because right now we have a lost generation. There's a lot of violence going on. And if we can get to them early enough, we can deter a lot of things. We have people that want to do things but are in situations where they can't. So reaching back and being able to guide some of those younger guys or younger gals would be the thing to do.
Okay. So, age group 13 to 21. Now, you said if you could reach them. So, you have this platform, it's yours. What specifically would you say to them that would, for lack of a better word, I guess, turn the tide on what's going on with the youth?
So the most important thing for me would be to tell them to be an individual. You don't necessarily need to hang with a group of people in order to solidify yourself. Um, you would just be you, invest in you, come up with a plan, execute the plan, and you'll be fine. It's 9 times out of 10, it's the crowd that we keep that derails us.
Mm.
So if you are surrounded by people that don't have the same mission as you, if you're trying to be successful, there's only two things that can happen. Either you will help them to develop or they'll pull you back. That's the only thing. So surround yourself with positive people, invest in yourself, and pursue your dream.
All right. So, be an individual. Don't be afraid to go ATG. That's what I say all the time. ATG, against the grain. Like, it's okay to not be a follower. It's okay to not do what all the cool kids are doing. Cool, cool, cool. Sound advice. And then number two, if you had the opportunity to speak to a younger Bryant, let's say around 5, 6 year old Bryant. Now, knowing all that you, I know, knowing all that you know now, what would you tell without like doing a butterfly effect and like changing like the trajectory of time or whatever? What would you tell like little 5 or 6 year old Brian? What do you think that he would need to know?
I would tell him, don't eat the watermelon.
Wait, 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 wait.
Oh my God.
So you said it. So okay, there's a
Chill out.
backstory. No.
That's an inside joke.
Okay then. Okay
All right,
then. Don't eat the watermelon, 6 year old Brian.
don't do it. It's not worth
I
it.
cannot. No, seriously. What would you tell little Brian?
Um,
Don't you eat that watermelon though, for real.
oh my goodness. Okay, so look, uh, when I was 6, I think I was in Gary or on our way to Gary or one of the two. Um, I was in a choir in Gary, and my dad came in the kitchen one day. I was in there, I was doing homework. I'm singing at the table, and he was like, "Where's Andrea?" And I was like, "Oh, she upstairs." She's like, "No, no, she's not. I just heard her. She was in here singing." I was like, "Oh, that's me." He was like, "Oh." Then he just walked out. He ain't say nothing, you know. Then a week later, he made me quit the choir. So like, I would tell myself, man, do you, man. Man, can't nobody be Brian but Brian. Now, although he is your father, and you have to listen because it's gonna be some consequences.
And
If he
repercussions.
catch you in here singing, just sing in the bathroom though, little dude. Don't even trip on that, man. Sing in
Aw.
the bathroom. Be you. Express yourself the way you need to express yourself. So
What did he what did he say?
yeah, he was like, boys don't sing. That what he said.
Boys don't sing.
Yeah.
And now look at all these people.
Yeah, you missed the money, pops.
You're right,
I could have
right.
been getting it.
Oh, that's sad. That because I know. I mean, singing takes me to another place. Um, so music is a release for so many people. So, like, can I say? I know I'm not supposed to be like, but like, how did you feel? Were you mad? Were you like sad? Like, what? Do you
Hey,
remember? Like when you were
so this is the thing. So you don't get mad
well,
at the Black
no,
Rainbow.
no, no, no.
Not if you want to keep
Living.
your face right. You know. So no, the thing is, I was I was probably a tad bit upset at the time. I really didn't understand what he was trying to get at. But then there was a lot of things that transpired over my youth that I didn't understand what he was trying to get at. So that's kind of what propelled me into things that I got into later on in life. But that's neither here nor there. We're probably there later on in the conversation. So
Yes, later on in
mhm.
the conversation. Okay. So, he made a reference to Black Rambo. Now, Black Rambo is the term that we assigned to our father, our late father. And I talk about it on my blog, www.com or dot we are not so different.com. There is a series of stories called Chronicles of Black Rambo. Now, do you remember how how we originally gave him that name? I have an inkling, and I think it was van related. Pops always drove a van, whether it was a gray one, whether it was a maroon one. He
Straight
always had the
18
big,
van
yes,
without action.
big A-team looking vans. But that was his thing. So, how did he get the term, the name of endearment, or the infamous name, Black Rambo?
So I think it was a lot of things that just transpired. I don't necessarily can't just pinpoint it and be like, oh, this is when we started doing it. I just know that I seen some things like
Like
on
what?
Spruce where when
Wait, wait, wait. I remember Spruce. I don't remember us calling him Black Rambo at
no,
Spruce. I was gonna
no,
say,
we didn't call him the Black
no, no,
Rambo
no,
on Spruce.
no.
Was it Spruce or was it 180?
It
Which
had
one?
to be
It was
180.
180
Yeah.
because we were behind in front of frontage. Okay, so look, so he gets into it with the neighbor. Neighbor then did something crazy. So he come in the house, he grabs the shotgun, he out there, draw down on the neighbor. Laws come. I ain't never seen laws come and don't nobody go to jail. He ain't go to jail. They ain't take the weapon. They, oh, Mr. Mays, just calm down. He calmed down. All right. Yeah, but the neighbor ain't never act crazy again. Is
He
this?
had that effect.
It's a lot of things. I don't know. What do you think?
I don't know. I remember something about a Desert Eagle, and this was at 503
Yeah, he bought
Jill.
one. He bought one.
And I don't know.
Did Rambo ain't had no Desert Eagle?
I thought it because I've heard this story so many times. Well, I also know one as early as Bolingbrook at 5. So these addresses, these numbers that we're given 545, 180, 503, these are addresses at different places that we lived for those listening. But the one at 545 Spruce was when he pulled out the itchy on the principal. Who you said who like
Which
it's
principal?
now
Is it what?
it's now known as J.R. Tibbet, but when we went it was Brookfield.
Brookview. Brookview.
Brookview.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it was Mr. Tibbet.
He shouldn't have did it.
He shouldn't.
What did, what did he do?
Well, I know one instance they had like pulled me in and they were trying to like ask inappropriate questions. I guess like priming me for information, and he found out,
Oh yeah, that'll
and he
get it.
went up there and had a whole discussion, and they had like put me in like into therapy without like even regarding asking them for permission or anything like that. And then I must have went home talking about it, and mom told Black Rambo, and
Oh yeah.
he
See,
went to go pay.
I'll tell you what was going on. They was trying to build a case, and he
Mm,
found out about the case. See, when he won't did CFS or whoever those people are in his mix, and
yeah.
he probably did it that right then when he went to the studio.
Yeah, and promptly got banned, and rightfully so. But yeah, you know what? I never thought about that until now. Like,
He didn't go to jail either though,
no,
y'all.
no, no, no. There was no, there was no jail. So, like, even as soon or as early as Spruce Road, which I was like in third,
Elementary.
fourth grade, definitely elementary, third or
Elementary.
fourth grade, he could have earned the name Black Rambo then, but I don't think we knew like what to.
Nah, he was just
He was
hey,
just dad. That's all you call him.
just he should have been run. That's it.
What?
So when you see him, just know you got to run.
And run real fast because he could run real fast.
Back then, he could run real
He
fast.
could. I don't understand it. The laws of gravity are working in his were working in his favor. So, the Chronicles of Black Rambo. That is what you'll find like different series on my blog, but they actually depict factual stories or factual incidents. These are nonfiction, factual incidents that occurred in our childhood. Like this was legit our life. There was no embellishment or exaggeration needed. Like it was real life. Excuse me. And oftentimes when I witness the reaction that people have when they hear the stories, it's comical. Okay, so I'm going to put this disclaimer out there. Abuse in no way, shape, or form is not funny. It's not a joke. But you hear us laughing about it, one, because we survived, and two, because even when we talk about it, it doesn't seem real. It's something that you would see on like, or think you would see on like a,
Lifetime channel.
yeah, but to me, when I think about it, I hear like the Benny Hinn music because it's funny, but it's not funny. I'm just putting that out there. I'm prefacing the conversation with abuse in no shape or form is funny at all. But because we've lived through it, by the grace of God, we are free, and I think that's why it's easier for us to discuss some things. But looking at the reaction of some of the people that I tell, it's truly comical. They can't believe that it happened to us. And I say it all the time, and I've said it on some of my blogs, maybe even on some of my podcasts. I would say he would come home and beat mama on down to the dog. And that's not an
We
exaggeration.
had two dogs too, and they both got it.
With extension cords. Like, and not like little bitty flimsy extension cords. I'm talking about them big orange ones that you use to plug in stuff from the Christmas tree. So mama got it, we got it, and the dogs, y'all live here, so y'all get it too.
Y'all
It's
barking
not
too
funny.
loud.
It's not
Don't
funny.
get in my business.
It's not. And yeah, so the
Hey,
dogs would get beat. Everyone in the house would get it.
wasn't a good time to be a kid,
It was
guys.
not. So, um, oh my gosh, speaking of the orange one, I don't remember the orange one, but he even named his weapons of mass destruction.
I think Eddie's the only one that caught the orange one though. I ain't never caught the orange. It was always the brown one for me.
The brown one, I remember his name. That was Gus.
I don't know. I just used to try to get out the way.
Well, of course, but don't run. Like there was no running.
Now you got to wait. It was a timing thing. So you see the lick coming. You got to wait till it's about to hit you. Then you got to move in so you can not get
It's
the
not
full
funny.
impact. Man, listen, it's an art to not getting beat.
Oh my gosh.
You just have to know.
Until he sat on you. So
It's tough.
there's tough. So there was the brown extension cord. That was Mr. Gus. And then I remember no,
The
Mr.
Mr.
Attention
Attention
Getter.
Getter, that was the paddle.
Yes, which was basically a 2x4 that was ripped off the fence in Gary, right?
Yeah.
And he wrapped duct tape around it, and he said that was to make it sting.
He
And
drew some holes in it
I
too.
believed him.
Hey, listen, hey man, this guy was artful. It was
He was a
it was
craftsman.
of, of, of beatings. This guy, hey, he was the truth. Hey, R.I.P. though.
Yeah, so some of I'm not gonna name names, but some family approached me after posting some of those things, and they were upset because they felt like I did not depict a true representation of what took place in the household. Um, that I wasn't harsh enough. Um,
Hmm.
yeah, like I mean, truth be told, some of the stuff I haven't put out there, but I'm sure. as the Chronicles of Black Rambo series develops, we'll be able to divulge more. Because I feel like, and I don't know, I could be wrong. I feel like if I gave them like the real of what was happening in the house, like I don't think they could take it. Like I don't think, like, does that make sense? You know what I'm
so,
saying?
um, so first, it really doesn't matter if your depiction is different from what they want. You have to gradually bring people into the world. You just can't
Gradually.
throw it all on their lap.
And that's what I agree with. And I think that's what I had. That's the conversation that I had too. I was like, we got to start off slow. We got to start off, baby steps. We just can't come in the door with pistol whippings.
So that's the thing, though. Like, just imagine this. So you're dating somebody and you're trying to get to know them, and on the first date, they just tell you all their problems. Is you gonna stick around? Are you really? Are you really
Really?
though? You're not gonna do it. So yeah, it's a process to everything. You just gradually bring them in. Like, I don't really think that y'all really want the truth though. Y'all don't.
You get into the. No, for real. For real.
It's
Like, I casually mentioned pistol whippings, but that was a real thing. That wasn't just
happened in real life
in real life.
on the stairs, and only two people witnessed it. Well, three, cause Mama was there. But yeah. But we heard the stories. We knew to run. You got to run, man.
Oh my gosh. Like, for instance, this one just came to mind. We were at 503 and he told y'all to be quiet, man. He kept saying, go to bed, go to bed.
We was in bed.
But y'all wasn't quiet. Y'all was playing games.
Man,
y'all was
listen,
laughing and giggling and having big fun in Baltimore. And listen.
Y'all didn't catch that Cosby wrestling.
He was like, okay, so our rooms were like, okay, mine was furthest, like for lack of better reference, to the right. And then mom and dad's room was in the middle. And then Brian and Russell's room was far off to the left.
So, right. So Andrea had a look to see the front of the house from her room.
Mm-hmm.
My room and my mother's and father's room saw the backyard. So
wait, mom and dad, they saw the backyard? I thought they were in the middle.
Yeah, they saw the backyard.
Okay, well.
Yeah. Two windows up top. Yeah.
So he was saying, be quiet, going to bed. And they kept not doing
We was going to bed. He was in there. We needed to wind down, man. What you gonna do? You share a room with your
what
brother.
is he gonna do?
No.
Oh.
That's not what I was asking.
Okay.
I'm just saying, when you share a room with your brother and you not sleepy, y'all gonna sit in there, y'all gonna chop it up, y'all gonna talk. Like, there's nothing wrong with talking unless your daddy is the black man.
So I heard him getting increasingly more upset. So at this point, I hear him rummaging around in the closet. And we know what's in the closet. It was the equivalent of running out and popping the trunk. So I heard that, and there was no way for me to warn these guys without running past Black Rambo's room. So I heard him, and he's talking to mom. He's like, nah, Deborah, they think I'm a bleep and bleep. I was like, oh, snap. So I got out my bed, and I'm putting on my shoes just in case I do have to run.
You got to run, man.
So I didn't witness what happened in that room, but what happened in the room?
He just came in there and just flashed that joint, though. Make some more noise is basically what he said, though. And y'all gonna get this work, meaning it was about to go up. So yeah, we just
shut up.
Yeah.
But think about that though. So 503 Jill Lane, I was 13, 14, which means you had to be like 12, 11.
I was still in middle school.
Which means Russell had to be 10.
Was still in elementary school.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So you're at a very young age, and your pops go into the closet and pull out a whole gun and come into the room and threaten you with it.
Start at 30.
30.
It's a deer rifle.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Rifle. I'm sorry.
the hunting rifle.
Yeah, it was
Like I
nice.
said, I didn't witness what happened in the room, but I knew what he was going to get. So you're a 10-year-old and a 12-year-old, and you're in the bed doing what a 10-year-old and a 12-year-old do, giggle and talk because it's bedtime. And the repercussions to not having been quiet when he said so was for him to pull out a rifle and threaten you with it.
Yeah, so that was more psychological than anything, though. It was just to let us know that at any given time, he'll give us that word, though. That's all that was. Like, stay in line, young tiger, or stay in line, young cub, whatever he was. Gorilla, stay in line, whatever it was.
Whatever you is.
Hey, that was his way of, you know, keeping us in line, though. The fear tactic, though, they only last so long, though. Eventually, you get tired and you rebel. So,
Yes. So it's before because I want to go back to that. You say you get tired and rebel. I'm writing that down, y'all. But before I go into that, because of the age factor, because of, I mean, this went on for as long as I can remember, as early as 5 for 5 Spruce, and I was in elementary. So, at what point for you could you say that you recognize this for what it was? Could you say, oh, for real, this is child abuse? Like, what point?
so look, so it's this situation that transpired, right? When I go in the kitchen, I'm starving, right? So my pops is cooking this soup.
Oh.
And y'all don't know what the soup is, but the soup is they go in the refrigerator, whatever's left over, throw it in a pot, add uh, tomato paste or sauce to it, boil it for an hour, eat it. That's what it is.
Soup.
I ain't want that, right? So I politely slide on in the kitchen and make me some peanut butter and jelly. I'm good. Little bro come in, see me eating peanut butter and jelly. He want peanut butter and jelly too. Listen, so he gets caught with his peanut butter and jelly.
Oh, so
So
it wasn't you.
nah, I didn't get caught with the peanut butter and
Oh,
jelly.
okay.
Russ, yeah, you hear me, Russell? He got caught with the peanut butter and jelly, man.
Russell stayed jamming us up. I got caught with him. He left the ketchup on the wall. And that's another story for another
Hey,
time. Anyway.
so here it is. Pops come down. He see Russ eating peanut butter and jelly. He is beyond mad. He like, Joe, I just made this soup for y'all to eat. Why is you eating the peanut butter and jelly? So Russell instantly, I don't know. Who told you to eat the peanut butter and jelly? Well,
Mm.
Brian had peanut butter and
Ooh,
jelly.
Russell.
So it is what it is now. We in here. It's me, Russell, and my father in the kitchen. So y'all want to do what y'all want to do. Huh? I was like, nah, we don't want to do what we want to do. It's like, oh yes, you do. That's his favorite thing.
Right,
He
right.
gonna ask you the question. You gonna give him the answer that he want. He gonna say the opposite. Hey, oh yes, you do. Yes, you do want it. So eventually, what transpires is he says, in his diabolical nature and mind, he says, "So y'all gonna eat this soup?" So basically, what transpired is he gave me a bowl of soup, right? A glass of water. Told me to eat the soup, drink the water, right? So I eat the soup, I drink the water. Then he gave me a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Eat the peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Okay, I eat it. Now, mind you, he already told us before the diabolical stuff started happening, hey, you better not throw up. This is real. Don't throw up, man. All right. So, soup, water, peanut butter and jelly, repeat. The plan was never just to eat one bowl of soup and one peanut butter and jelly sandwich as punishment. No, the plan is to make you throw up. But he told you, just told you, don't throw up though. But how can you not? So, long story short, I throws up. Russell, he's a young savage. He just kept eating
Oh
and kept
gosh.
eating it. And he was just looking like, man, boy, I'm never finna go down with you, Brian. You finna throw up. So I did. But my brother, my older brother Chris, he was quick on the draw. So he peeped the whole scene. He know I'm going down like the Titanic. He run upstairs. He called the police. So So boom, right when I'm throwing up, police come to the door. We got a call from inside the house, mind you. Inside the house. Who does that?
The police.
They say we got a call from inside the house that there's some stuff going on in the house. Long story short, dad feels some type of way. He know who did it. He can't prove it. He did it. But I don't get beat. So shout out to Chris for calling the police and not letting me get beat after being tortured by sandwiches and soup.
So he was just gonna keep feeding you,
Until
to
you
your
do.
belly.
No, well, not necessarily, because Russell went through three bowls of soup, three glasses of water, three sandwiches. So I only made it to two. So maybe if I would have made it through the third, then everything would have been everything. But it wasn't possible. I wasn't gonna do it. I couldn't.
I don't think that was his goal to see you well fed and nourished.
Please,
He was
nourished,
on one. Like,
nourished,
but that's like the worst. I'm not gonna say it's the worst kind of
nourished.
abuse. But what? I'm sorry. That
Stop
did
it.
that word trigger something?
Listen, I'm
I'm
just
sorry.
saying.
Like, you're mad because a little kid doesn't want this slop. I don't want to say slop. Okay,
What I wanted to say was you eat it. He never ate the
oh,
soup.
you wasn't gonna say
He never
that.
ate the
No,
soup. They never did.
no. There was always something else. Like mom would always cook him something different. Well, not always, but a lot of times cook him something different from
The
what we were
soup
eating.
was not what's up.
It
Don't do
wasn't
your
good.
kids like that,
He
bro.
literally took everything that was in the refrigerator and stuck it in a pot, covered it in tomato sauce, and was like,
Eat it.
"Bon appetit."
Eat it. And like eating
It's not funny. I'm sorry.
it.
It's
It
not
is funny.
funny.
All
So
right.
that was the point where you was like, "Oh, this is."
No, that was the item enough. Enough.
Oh, that's when you had
Yeah,
you were
it's over
done.
with. Yeah,
Okay, and I remember that was at 5:03.
yeah.
So if I was in high school,
I
you
was
was
in eighth grade.
yeah, I was gonna say at the end of. So then, what happened? Like, what? I guess if that was your enough moment, like what transpired after that? Like, were you? I know you wasn't on some like never again stuff because that just didn't happen. But like,
I just didn't listen to him no more, man. That's it. That's it. So I was Smokey from Friday. When he there, I'll be quiet. But when he leave, I'll be talking again. Hey, this is real. Whatever he said for me to do, then when he was there, I was gonna do it. But when you ain't there to make sure I'm gonna do, I ain't doing it.
so you earlier you said the fear tactics they work to a point, but then after that you begin to rebel. So is that when you would say that the rebellion started?
I know I probably was already rebelling, but it was minute,
Okay.
right? But after that, it was like, psst, yeah, catch me if you can.
Well, we didn't want him to catch you. So what did that rebellion look like for you then, besides just catch me if you can?
I just got to hanging out with my older B, and we got to doing things I probably shouldn't have been doing. I missed curfew a couple times, and yeah, I was just hanging out, doing things I probably shouldn't have been doing at the time. So catch me if you can.
This guy.
I'm just saying, when it's all said and done, though, I had a partner of mine too. He passed, Jason White. So yeah, me and Jason, freaking frack. Not to mention Nicholas Brown. So yeah, we just getting cars. Like Nick used to get his father's car when he went to sleep. We just go. Now, mind you, we 13 at the time. We out here running the streets, driving that we shouldn't be driving, but
I was gonna say 13 and driving.
we doing our thing out here. And at the end of the day, it's like, catch me if you can. What you gonna do?
So I remember when I finally recognized that this was abuse, like in real life, and that was when we were in Gary, Indiana, and that's when Cuzzo made that song.
Child abuse.
Child abuse. It's not funny, but I was like, oh my gosh, like that's the term. That's what this is in real life. Like, and I was in fourth grade at that time, so it took me a while, quite a while. But once I did recognize for what it was, I was like, oh man, like this isn't normal. Like, not to say that I thought it was normal before, but I think that is the moment when I was like, oh man, like we're being child abused or like
You the
and
child and the abuse is still
yeah,
you.
I'm just saying, yeah.
It's crazy.
So I know that after he left, which was weird, wild, whatever, I think things took a turn for the worse for, I want to say, for everyone. I know for myself, I was going through a thing. Um, but like even after he was gone, like say, so we went down to Louisiana, but then you came back up.
Right.
So how would you say that you? I don't want to. I don't want to attribute like how can I say this? How do you think it impacted your decision making skills? How did it impact you? Like you started talking about rebellion in your lifestyle and decision making. How did that lead to what transpired shortly after? Like after you came back from Louisiana?
The first time
There were two times?
I left, y'all went down, then I maybe stayed down there 6 months, and then
Right.
right. So you talking about when I left in?
Mm-hmm.
Uh, oh well, at that point I was too wild for the South. Like this is real, no joke though. I was toting pistols and everything by then. So yeah, when I went down south, it was too slow. I live in the country. Ain't no kicking it. Ain't no going out and none of that. And then the school that I was at didn't even have a football team, so I couldn't even play ball if I wanted to play ball. So yeah, my granddad and my mom wasn't going. Granddad was like, "Listen, this young man don't want to be down here. Get him out of here." Mom was like, "Shh, well, you got to get out of here, then, Brian." I was like, "I ain't want to be down here no way." So they sent me to stay with my brother Eddie. Now Eddie just as wild as me though. How the wild gonna govern the wild?
No
So
church in a
it
while.
was uh it was an experience though, but it made me realize some things though. So when I came up, and I still had this whole forget about it attitude. Now my oldest brother Eddie is who's responsible for me. Um, my other brother gone at the time, right? So yeah, it was tough. I'm trying to figure out what I want to do, and if what I'm doing right now is what it is for me. So did I miss my people? Yeah, I miss the little bro and my sister and my mom, but I can't let them see it. And I'm talking about why? Because Pop told me, man, boy, don't cry, man. We figure it out. Get out there, figure it out. So I'm trying to figure it out myself. But it was too hard though. I was like, man, you know what? I'm ready to be a kid again. So I went down south though. So I went back and I did what I was supposed to do for a time. Went to school, played ball. Was supposed to go to college, but how that turned out. So yeah,
It's okay. So then what so I even at the age that I am now, I see how the effects of said abuse still impact me to this day. And I think about back then when I was younger, how those dealings impacted the way that I thought or my lack of ability to think or lack of ability to process. And I'm sure that played into a lot of my decisions, played into a lot of my behavior. So even now, like legit, I'm going to say this, I don't care. I have some anger issues. Like, I remember you used to say, all mazes are bleep holes. And I used to be like, I'm not a bleep hole. Hey,
so we got this little guy, probably standing about right here in the middle of our chest though. So once he throw his hands up like enough, it's up there. Don't be the person that
on
causes
the
the little
receiving
man.
end. But
That I'm just saying.
but we have to get past that though. Like there like I love how the conversation you were having with Chris last night. He was like, sometimes people are gonna say things that purposely want to take you off your square because they want to see you go there. So there has to be a point where we're like, okay. Tell the little man, quiet you.
So this is the thing. So it becomes a what do I have to lose type thing right now though. That's what keeps people on the straight and narrow. Well, for me at least though. Like I have too much to lose at this point. Like back then, I didn't value a lot of things though. You know what I'm talking about?
What is back then?
Like when I was still out there doing what I was doing, then the only thing that mattered was what I was doing in that time frame, right? So although I know that I have these responsibilities, as long as I'm taking care of me and mine, what I'm doing, then I'll deal with the consequences of whatever situation later, right? But now it's more, hey, the heck with those consequences, though. Like I don't need that in my life, though. So I put myself in positions where I know that I'm gonna win, and then I don't put myself in compromising situations. Like if I learn to listen to myself, though. Like you get that little feeling or inclination or whatever it is, and you know, hey, you probably shouldn't go out this weekend, or yeah, don't go over there, or whatever it is. I learned to identify with that and then be like, yeah, I'm not going. Where in the past, I just be like, hey, don't do it. Psst, I'm doing it anyway. And it always be some stuff. Like I used to always. So yeah, I learned to listen to myself, man, and stay out the way. I got babies that I'm trying to see grown. So yeah.
So I want to ask a question, but I don't know if it's. So I'm going to ask it, and if you say, "Hey, go to where the devil is, Bert," then that's what you say. So I know that back when you were doing what you were doing,
Right.
you had kids then, though.
Yeah.
So what's the difference between then and now?
So this is the thing. So back then, I still wanted my babies to be like me. You know what I'm talking about? I got an oldest boy. This is my pride and joy, right? So I'm gonna show him how to get this money out here, right? So now I don't want them to be like me, man. Like they need to be the opposite of me to be better people. So I guess I've had a change in the way I view things. Like you can't have your little man out there doing the same things that you did. That's not progress. You're supposed to want your babies to be better than you in every aspect of the word. So that's what it is now. Like, come on out here. It's a million ways to get legal money out here. A million ways to solidify yourself as a young man. Find out what you're good at, perfect your craft, and do it.
Awesome. I didn't know that you wanted him to be like you, like
Oh,
when you were
oh
doing that.
yeah. Why not?
What do you mean? Why not? Because
Listen,
it's not legal.
hey, it's not. What's up? Don't do that, y'all. Don't do that.
Okay. Well, the fact that like you went from doing what you used to do to now, like you're educated, you're successful in managerial positions, like I want to say that I'm really proud. And I know mom would be super proud if she was here. So, um I feel like I don't know if I don't say it enough, and I don't know if you've gotten that. Not like you needed that from anyone, but I just wanted to let you know that I'm super proud of how you've turned everything around for the good, for better.
Thank you.
So, there was a dear friend. I'm not gonna say no names. She, I shouldn't even say she, but whatever. She was a dear friend, and she talked to me about some of the stuff that I post on my website. And one in particular, she was really upset. She was like, "Why did you post that?" She's like, "I was really upset when you posted it, and I wanted you to take it down. I wanted you to take it down." And at first I didn't understand, like, why do you want me to take it down? Like it happened. It was a part of my life. I can't, like, not like I want to cover it up, but why would you want me to take it down? And she was like, she was afraid for how people would react to me. She was afraid how people would think about me. She was afraid how people would view me because of some of the stuff that I posted. And I think that was really, really sweet. Like she genuinely was concerned with my image or how people would treat me because of my past. And I think it's really, really sweet. Um, so God bless you for that. But then I went on to tell her, like, think about it for real. Like, why did you want that to come down? And she said it made her uncomfortable. Now, that I understood what she was saying, but at the same time, it made me a little bit angry because, for lack of better wording, bump people and their need to feel comfortable at all times. If we are afraid to have conversations about real events, like we said, there was no embellishment or exaggeration necessary. If we are too uncomfortable to have conversations about real events, how will we ever affect change? Now, we got it bad. We got it real bad. But there's people that had it a lot worse.
True.
Like, I never saw, what was that movie with that girl, Gabby? Gabby. She was dark with Monique and Gabby. Precious.
Ah,
I never saw that
I saw
movie.
it.
I have no desire to see it, but I've heard the stories. But what I'm saying is, these are real life situations. People are out here living like this. People are being subject to all forms of abuse. And because we have such a need to remain comfortable. We are so eager to turn a blind eye. We'd much rather not hear about it than engage in a conversation that could potentially affect change. Um, what are your feelings about the matter? I know you tapped into it a little about, you got to start people off slow before you give them the whole nine. But, like, what do you feel about that?
I guess it just depends on what you feel like you're called to do. Like everybody is not a changer. Everybody doesn't initiate change. Everybody plays a role in it though. So I know that the Bible depicts it's like what is the scripture? I can't even think of it. But paraphrasing, it's uh, one one waters, one plants the seed, one waters. God
Mm-hmm.
gives the increase, right? So it's the same thing when trying to initiate change. So you have to do what you're comfortable with doing, and sometimes that means that you do have to get outside your comfort zone. So do what you feel comfortable doing and work your way up until you are being as impactful as you feel like you can be. People are comfortable and they live in that, right? And it's the same for your personal nature though, right? Like you want to do something with your life, but you don't know how, right? Um, the biggest thing that makes change or makes somebody want to change is the uncomfortableness of the situation. If you have ever been uncomfortable, then you know what I'm talking about. So for some people, they can fall down and be on their pockets, the pockets on their backside, and they'll be like, "Oh, I need to get out of this. I need to change. I need to figure out what's going on." Right? But that wasn't the point for me. As long as I could still look up, then I felt like I could finesse my way out of any situation. It took me to be face down in the mud
Mm-hmm.
before I was like, yeah, this is not it. So to answer the question though, I feel like if you want to be a part of change, if you want to reach out to a generation, if you want to, even if you're just working on yourself, right, then you have to identify what you're trying to do and where it ranks on your comfortable meter. Like for me, it was nothing that I wasn't willing to sacrifice within self in order to get myself out of the rut that I put myself in. So it was I'm betting all in on Bryant. So take this 30 grand, bet all in on yourself. And I was lucky enough to make it out of that. If you're not willing to go all in on a situation, then the situation probably ain't for you. If you want to help somebody change, you want to be able to give advice and for people to take your advice, then you have to be willing to take the same advice that you're giving out. And if that makes you uncomfortable, then you probably shouldn't speak on it.
Okay. Well, I want to weigh in on that and say I want to encourage people to stick that comfortable place somewhere where the sun doesn't shine. No, for real, like I think it's imperative, and I guess I'm just like this huge advocate. I know, and I wholly agree with you 100%. Everybody ain't ready, but for some aspects, you're going to have to either get ready or be confronted with it in a way that you are not prepared to be confronted with it. Um, like even if it isn't about abuse, it could be about anything. It could be about abuse, it could be about racism, it could be about anything. Anything that makes you cringe, anything that makes you uncomfortable. Oh no, don't talk about it. Um, homosexuality, anything that is taboo on your list. I think that we owe it to ourselves as human beings to at least be able to have an open dialogue without anger subsiding. No, no, it's not.
So I don't disagree with what you're saying.
Okay.
So people can't get out of their feelings. This is the thing. If I say something to you and you don't agree with what I said, then it's instantly conflict, right? Uh, you can have your own opinion. I can have my own opinion, and
Sure.
we can be friends.
Yes.
But that's not what's going on these days, man. Listen, if you don't agree with what I say, then it's like I apply pressure into you either on my team or view what I view the same way. That's that's the dialogue that's happening now, though. Like people can't just allow you to have your own opinion. They have to try to sway you in every way. I
Mhm.
see it every day.
Or they're instantly offended, or you're attacking me. Attack. I think we have two different definitions of the word attack. Yeah, I do see that a lot. Well, if you are anywhere within my sphere of influence, you can be ready. Just know going in as you continue to follow my page, as you continue to follow my website, as you continue to follow my show, you can get ready to run up into some stuff that you probably wasn't ready to run into. But all I'm asking is that you hear me out. You hear my guest out. You hear our hearts as opposed to necessarily the words that are coming out of our mouths because um it's imperative that we have conversation or else we're doomed to do repeat the same mistakes. So bump that. That's not what I'm on. So for future, present and future, Brian, taking all of what has transpired in your life, in your past, going forward, what does that look like
What
as
you
it pertains to self, as it pertains to family, as it pertains to lineage and legacy? What does it look like for you?
um I don't know. Yeah.
Well,
Uh
pick one. I know I threw a lot at you.
so I guess as far as legacy, like I don't really think much of that. The only thing I really care about is them kids.
Well, that's
Like
part of your legacy.
this is real. Like I don't have to have two people show up at my funeral though. But as long as them kids straight, then I'll be good. Like this is real. Like hey, I will do what I need to do in order to make sure that they straight, and then still be able to move the way I need to move in order to enjoy the life that I'm living now. And if all that is aligned, then I'm good. And when it gets tough for me and I run into bad spurts, which often happens, then I put my head down and I work through it. That's all I got. So legacy,
I mean, kids are part of your legacy,
yeah,
right?
that's it. That's all that I don't. That's all I got is them.
He's like, that's all. I don't care about anything else.
That's it.
Well, I mean, okay. So then what other parts? You can't say that's everything. Other parts like financial.
So as far as from where I came to where I'm at now, then I just feel like I still need to do some improvement. Sometimes I get full of myself and I get in trouble. So I guess I probably need to stay humble more and probably no, ain't no probably about it. I gotta stay humble because I find myself in situations where I don't want to listen to people sometimes, even though they
I think
telling me right. So there's certain situations that I find myself in now that you would think it would just be an easy decision, but it's kind of tough for me to take advice from somebody who is in a worse position than me, though. Even though they're telling me the truth, though. So
that's wait, say
this
that
is real.
again.
So there is a person that I talk to on occasions when I'm going through things because they normally make me feel better about situations, and they're not doing what they supposed to be doing in life, though, right? So you know what I'm talking about. So gave me some advice the other day, and I'm thinking to myself, Joe, that's some sound advice. If it
I
would have came
can't.
from anybody else, though,
That's
I
messed
probably I
up.
probably would have took it. You know, but hey, this is real. But I can realize my errors. I realize my faults, though. So like, yeah, I just need to stay humble and take it how it comes, though. Like advice comes in all shapes, form, and fashion. It might have been an answer to a prayer that I was, praying about, but then I was too big headed to just accept it as what it was. I shunned it like So yeah, man, stay humble and stay focused on what I'm trying to do so I can accomplish some more things.
Awesome. Okay. Well, we're going to start to wrap this up. I want to thank you for spending your morning here. Thank you for giving us your time for We Are Not So Different. Once again, I can be found at www.wearenotsodifferent.com. I can be found on Instagram at We Are Not So Different underscore. I can be found on Facebook at We Are Not So Different. I'm all over. I'm on Snapchat. I'm on Twitter. All the good stuff. And of course, on esmradio.net is where my shows reside for the current point in time. But I just want you guys to stay in tune with me. Go to my YouTube page, Andrea Powell, and subscribe and hit that notification button so I can get my subscriptions up, please. And thank you. Until then, thank you so much for your time. I would say wave goodbye to the people, but we're on radio. So until next time, you guys, stay blessed. And that is a wrap. YouTube, thank you for watching. We'll see y'all next week.